you either have to rip them out or go through their process. And I actually had other investors that their property was demo.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, my stuff was almost entirely cosmetic. I didn't want to get into the bones of everything, so.
If you were to look back on these two properties that you bought remotely and the process of all of it, what would you have done differently?
So I probably would have identified better properties. That being said, I wanted to go to kind of a low risk price range, and like I said, $100,000. I couldn't get myself in too much trouble. I had the capital to to cover anything aside from a complete disaster. But I think I rushed it a little bit, so I think taking my time, being a little bit more picky on properties would definitely be the first thing. And then refining a list, basically, like I said, for my contractor to look at, say how much, check these things out, instead of just saying, I think I relied on his expertise a little bit too much, but he's not an investor. He doesn't, he's not holding the checkbook. So although I think he gave me what he thought was an honest number, I don't think it was as thorough as probably should have been. And so I think really, defining what he should be looking for and putting that into like a checklist form would be the next one.
So he walked through, but he was missing things.
Yep.
Not that he inflate things.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, at least you have that working for you, right? He didn't inflate things and add things.
Right. Yeah. And I think he was an honest guy and all that. I don't question any of that. But he was just, like you said, he missed things. He didn't look for in all the nooks and crannies that he should have, and the budget just kind of kept going up. We got to be done here soon.
Yeah, you're luckier than some other investor who got contractor that inflate the price and miss things and don't do the work right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. It could have been worse.
What's that?
I said agreed. It could have been worse.
Yes. Okay, so even all of that happened. How long did it take you to manage the project from the time you bought the property until the time you put a tenant in it?
Let's see. I bought in, I think, February last year, so it was about 4 or 5 months, I think. 4 to 6. I think the second one was about 6 months by the time I got a long-term renter in there, and that was the second property where the budget went way over, and there was a lot of add-ons that kept kind of, again, taking time, taking up money. The first one was quite a bit quicker. That was probably closer to 4 months.
Well, I think I shared this story with you as well. I'm so happy for you how things have turned out, even though you had some bumps on the road. Because I had other friends who bought an investment property in Texas City, and they rehabbed it, and then when they went to turn on utility, the city said nope, they weren't going to do it. So they want my investor friend to rip everything out and redo them all, or they won't they won't turn on utility.
Oh,
so
yikes.
What choices do you have? I mean, this house was practically, they put in everything new, almost everything new.
Why did they want them to rip it out?
Because they wanted them to get permit.
Oh,
all
gotcha.
the work.
No Texas City employees are listening to this.
Yes, and that's not the first time I've heard this. Like, if they try to do that with a lot of investor property where they refuse to turn on utility. So you either have to rip them out or, go through their process. And I actually had other investors that their property was demo.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, my stuff was almost entirely cosmetic. I didn't want to get into the bones of everything. So that's probably the reason. I guess I don't know for sure, but I'm glad I didn't run into that situation.
Yes.